I know you said that, with your mother and raising you and saying, hey, you can do whatever you do within the talents that God gave you. Do you ever felt like, you had that fork in the road where, you can make a choice to go here or go there? Did you ever feel like you had that moment where you had to make that decision?
Absolutely. I mean, many times
Many
that
times.
is
Okay.
because when you are faced with situations where there's not enough food in the house to feed everybody properly, right?
Mm-hmm.
When dad is, wherever, and mom is bringing home toys that are secondhand from, you know, Salvation Army, on Christmas.
Yeah.
You appreciated it, but you were old enough to know that those were used toys,
Right.
and the hunger in you and the desire to want to do better made you at least look at those opportunities. But I never got caught doing anything doing anything wrong. But
Got you.
neither did I live that life, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yes.
when you grow up in those environments, you're gonna look at it, you're gonna experiment with it,
Right.
but at the same time, you don't let it consume you. And when I decided to go to college, to get my degree in information technology, I always knew I performed well in school. I always knew that school was going to be my direction, and education was going to be my direction. And why? Because my mom told me so. She said, "You can be whatever you want to be within the talents that God has given you." But she always made sure that we went to school. You couldn't stay at home from Virginia.
Right.
Virginia is my mom. You
So you're
couldn't play
going to
hooky.
school.
And see, back then, it was the neighborhood who watched the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, we were raised by the village. If you
Yes.
were around the corner, Miss Tina is going. She if she see you doing something wrong, Miss Virginia gonna know about it.
Right.
If you were seen walking, you not on a bus, she's gonna know about it. And so we always, school was important in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Education was important in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what drove me to wanting, to get a college education. And I was a good student. I made good
Yeah.
grades in school,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's all because of my mom.
Awesome. That's what moms do. That's what moms do. I want to, definitely, touch on the fact that you mentioned, your mother's influence. You also mentioned the college education, that you had. One of the things that I always found fascinating about, the insurance industry is that, as you said, you took your exam, you ended up getting licensed. Um, you didn't have to have, I mean, obviously it's great to have the support system, but you didn't have to have the college degree,
Mm-mm.
to do, what you're doing now. I know that there are people who are listening, and maybe they're going from, they're doing this career, that career, maybe they're trying to figure it out. I mean, maybe they're looking at, whatever opportunities exist, on videos, or whatever the case may be nowadays. But what is your thought? What are your thoughts, as far as how, because this is a big thing now. This is a big thing, especially with young people, going to college in general. This is a big topic of conversation,
Yes.
right? And for having an insurance license, I have a degree. I got my degree a little bit later, but I found that even before I got the degree, I still was able to, work and make some moves. By the time I found insurance, that was done. But what's your stance on that? What's your stance on someone who says, I don't know if I want to go to college. Maybe can I just do this?
Yeah. So, the first thing I want to say is that, getting a college degree, it says a couple of things: that you have the fortitude and aptitude to complete something,
Mm-hmm.
right? But as you said, that's not required to be that person, right? The
Right.
college education is not necessary for you to have the fortitude and aptitude to complete something.
Yes.
That can come from a desire from within. That can
Mm-hmm.
come from a hunger, a certain type of hunger. And you do not have to have that past to be successful in this business. You only have to apply yourself to the products that you are looking to sell.
Right.
Period. If you
Right.
can apply yourself to the products, to learning the products that you're looking to sell, you can be successful in this business. But it requires what? A license.
A license. You got to get. Of course, you got to get the license in order to get started.
That's what this is all about.
That's what
You
it's
got to
all
get a
about.
license.
You got to get the license in order to get started. Your career, you talked about it early, just kind of introducing, yourself and telling your story. I want to talk about those things, those experiences that you've had. I mean, look, and I didn't even touch on, the acting and the music, early on. You're an actor, a thespian, a real actor, a thespian, a singer, radio personality, DJ. You've done the marketing, you've done the IT as well. How do you think, those skills from those previous experiences have helped you in, your career as an insurance agent, or have they helped you at all? Do you feel like they've helped you at all?
It's a great question. And the answer is yes, absolutely. They've helped. One, they build confidence, right? Two, they build character, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as an actor, we're acting every day.
Right.
As we communicate, sometimes the truth comes out, and then sometimes a version of the truth comes out. We're acting in those times. We may hold something back because we aren't ready to share.
Mm-hmm.
Identifying personalities and the types of personalities. As a manager, you look at the 4 quadrants, and you have to understand how to manage the people that work for you.
Right.
And so, a lot of what I learned along the way came from a lot of what I've learned came from all of those tries, or all of those things that I've done.
Yeah.
I was represented by Carson's agency in New York City. I've auditioned for some Broadway shows, got a call back for one. I was
Awesome.
excited.
Yeah.
Didn't get chosen. Could have been the launch of my career, but that's not what God wanted for me at the time, I guess. Right. And then being able to take an event, right, as an artist, and this, building an event,
Mm-hmm.
being able to get tickets sold, get the right people invited, get the place done,
Yes.
solidified, not in that order, but all those things needed to be done. The planning, the event planning that I took on as I tried to master my music career.
Mm-hmm.
I do that today. I'm one of the very few individuals who do a member appreciation event 3 times a year pre-COVID, right? If I hadn't had those skills from back then, I may not be effective in doing that.
Yeah.
But I even perform live for my members, right? So so that's a direct hit to learning from my past.
Yeah. I share with some of the agents that I work with, that they really have to be able to incorporate whatever creativity they have, or whatever unique abilities they have, and bring them into their experience as an agent. And I know that you've made a really strong bridge between the two. It's not easy to do. I'll tell you, for me, it's been a big disconnect. I would say even up until this year, I wouldn't talk about, what I did musically when I was in it. I would not talk about that, in the insurance environments. I mean, if somebody brought it up, then I would have to talk about it. But it's not something that I would include in the conversation. And it hasn't been until really, towards maybe end of last year, last quarter of last year, this year, that I realized that, man, all of these things that you've experienced, are really a complete picture of who you are, and it's okay to share all those aspects, right? I don't do I don't do shows, but taking that process of being able to put the events together as you managed, or even like what we're doing now, having the interviews and the podcast, these are the it's not the same forum, it's not the same type of platform, but it still utilizes a portion of creativity, and I'm still bridging those things that I've done in the past to say, hey, if it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter what your background is, right? Because agents have such a diverse,
Yes.
right, such a diverse array of industries that we come from. You have people who have been entertainers, right, that end up joining the insurance industry. You have people that have been in food services that join the insurance industry, coming from a little bit of everywhere. So I think with you specifically, what's really cool is that you got a little bit, you have a piece of this, because you're an IT manager. You are an IT manager as well, so very technical job, but also are a creative person and musician, right? So left brain and right brain just kind of firing on all cylinders.